It had been a long and frustrating morning, and Rhubarb was still thumbing through his computer instruction book. On the blink, broken, busted. Nothing listed for on the blink. No, nothing, frowned Rhubarb. The most serious computer problem, not there. Typical, he shouted in an out-loud kind of way, just as Mouse, rodent scholar, scuttled in.
What you looking for?
He inquired. On the blink, said Rhubarb. Computers on the blink, and I cannot find on the blink in this instruction book.
Computers can be either on or off,
Mouse squeaked, and went on to explain the computers can never be on the blink. Well, this one is, said Rhubarb. It's been on the blink ever since I fed it, he said with a heavy sigh.
Well, what do you mean you fed it?
Well, you said to feed it information, so I fed it, Rhubarb beamed.
With what?
Inquired Mouse, rodent scholar from Silicon Valley. With the encyclopedia, smiled Rhubarb. The great book of information. It took me 6 hours. There were bits of pages all over the place. Worse than feeding a pig, he added with an air of disgust.
You mean to tell me that you fed a whole encyclopedia to your computer?
Mouse gasped.
A whole book?
Books, corrected Rhubarb. A number of books, made with paper, ink and glue. Yes, I cut the whole lot up from A to Z and fed it bite-sized pieces. Good joke, that. Thought of it while I was stuffing pages into its mouth, chuckled Rhubarb.
What mouth?
Asked Mouse. The mouth it eats its discs with, scoffed Rhubarb. It gobbled up the whole lot. 26 volumes, every book from cover to cover. Spiders and all. They've been up in the attic for years, them old books, grinned Rhubarb.
Oh, dear. Now I see what you mean by on the blink,
said Mouse, just as the computer started making the most revolting burping noises. Oh, look! It's not on the blink after all. It was in snooze mode. Ha! Having a little sleep after reading all those books, grinned Rhubarb. Now then, Mouse, what would you like to know? Ask me anything, said Rhubarb confidently. But Mouse had gone. It was all too much for him. Mouse? Oh, well, I'll test my new patented virtually impossible helmet, the hat that brings history to life, Rhubarb grinned to himself. Unleash your immeasurable knowledge. Tell me all about dogs and cats, Rhubarb oozed, pulled on his patented virtually impossible helmet and flicked the switch. 8 billion years ago, these small, green, friendly, dog-like creatures lived in the delicious Marylebone jelly forests. They scampered after rocks thrown from volcanoes, swam in warm lakes, and sunbarked. They were Rhubarbius ruffii, and their only known natural enemy was the beastly Custardious Maximus, giant pink cats. Over 4 meters tall and quite fat, the beastly Custardious Maximus irritated the easygoing ruffii for thousands of years, simply because there was nothing better to do. Rookie and Post Dog were sitting in the shade of the old conker tree. The birds were lounging on twigs above them, and Custard was listening to Mouse, tittle-tattling about how Rhubarb had fed his computer with the dusty old books. That is when it happened.
Ooh, that sounded like a blood-curdling scream, if I'm not very much mistaken,
Mouse said calmly and coolly.
You're right,
said Custard as he slid off the fence.
A cry for help, I'd say,
Mouse added as he and Custard peered into the unknown. Thinking that he had bumped into the giant Custardious Maximus, Rhubarb immediately threw himself onto the ground and begged the monster to stop pestering him, all while he carried on in a yelling and screaming kind of way.
Here, what sort of blood-curdling, screaming kind of programs do you think Rhubarb's been watching on that telly of his?
Asked Custard.
That telly just happens to be Rhubarb's highly sophisticated computer,
explained Mouse, then stopped dead, mid-squeak.
What?
Inquired Custard.
He must have unleashed the computer's immeasurable knowledge,
Squeaked Mouse.
Rhubarb's hacked into the history of dogs and cats and program the pictures into his virtually impossible helmet, he gasped. Who knows what horrible historical scenes he is watching as we speak?
Screamed Mouse.
Look at the main computer screen.
Custardious Maximus, explained Mouse in hushed tones. Your ancestors, Custard. Your great, more greats than can be spoken granddad. Rhubarb can see your old relatives before his very eyes. That is what is upsetting him, whispered Mouse.
How horrible for him,
said Custard.
But then my old relatives would upset anyone.
He wailed and shuddered at the thought.
So, what was all that noise about?
Inquired Mouse knowingly. Horrible pink monsters. Looked a bit like Custard.
Ah!
My virtually impossible helmet must be on the blink too, said Rhubarb in an embarrassed kind of way.
Maybe your bucket is on the blink,
muttered Custard.
Oh no.
That is what I call virtually impossible,
blurted Mouse, and they both ran off after the others as the shed grew and roared and thundered off down the garden path.
Wizz, the home of ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, and all your favourite kids' TV characters. Now let's find kids' TV. Or I can press this microphone. Wizz. That's how easy it is.